So this morning we're in Joshua Tree. We're gonna go explore the park. We're gonna be here for a couple days. When we get up in the morning, first thing on our list is to feed Maisha. If we are in the middle of nowhere, I will take the shades out and give us some light in the van and give the windshield time to defog if we're driving somewhere that day. I've been acting like a wild man. She doesn't come out of her nook often, unless there's food involved. But she looks like she can fall asleep. Boop, 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 boop. Wake up! We like to tidy up our van every morning because it's such a small space and all three of us have to share it. So many times I've stranded, a castaway on unknown shore, although a stranger in this continent, I'm always in bloom. Once you're here, if you can't get a parking spot in the campground area, you can always just go to the BLM land.
It's 1 mile from the park entrance, so it's really close.
Yeah, it's a great place to park if you can be off-grid and don't need to have a generator and hookups and stuff. So let's go explore the park. So for the next couple of days, we're going to be enjoying Joshua Tree National Park. We have been here before, but we really want to explore more because we enjoyed it so much. It's actually made of two different deserts. You have the Colorado Desert, which is the desert that we're in now, and on the west side of the park, you have the Mojave Desert. So the difference between the two deserts is actually the elevation that they're at. The Colorado Desert is less than 3,000 feet in elevation, and the Mojave is over 3,000 feet. So the Colorado feels more like the Sonoran Desert that you get in Arizona. So let's go check it out. We're just doing a short loop at the Cottonwood section of the park, which is in the Colorado Desert, just to see a little bit more of the Colorado Desert because there's not as many trails on this side of the park as there is on the Mojave Desert side. Hopefully we can see some bighorn sheep, but I don't know if we'll be that lucky.
We're on a little 1.4 mile hike, and you can see the San Bernardino mountain range and the Salton Sea, which we were just at a couple of days ago. And it's actually pretty clear today. Normally it's hazy. So if you take the Cottonwood Springs Mastodon mine loop, you actually walk right by some closed mine remains. They blocked it off. They don't want humans to go in anymore to protect the bats. That's a mine from the 1930s. There's over 300 mines scattered throughout the Joshua Tree Park area. So we are currently surrounded by tons of cholla cactus. This is one of our favorite and one of the most unique parts inside of the park.
And the interesting thing is the location of this is where the two deserts meet. So the Mojave and the Colorado desert. It's right on that border area, and there is thousands of cholla.
Literally
everywhere you can see.
Everywhere. It's beautiful.
They look like they're gonna hurt, but they're actually not too bad. But what's cool are the little like fruits on them.
So as you're walking through the cholla garden, some of these little guys have fallen off or blown off and they're on the ground. And I stepped backwards and already had one latch onto me and stab me in the ankle. So it's pretty funny. You gotta be careful.
As we left the cholla garden and headed west through the park from the Colorado desert into the Mojave, we noticed less and less cactus and started to see the iconic Joshua tree and the sprinkled piles of massive boulders.
So the Joshua tree is not actually a tree. It's part of the yucca or yucca family, and it was first named by the Mormons. When they came through, they actually named it after the biblical name Joshua.
So the cool thing about these Joshua trees is as they get taller, they look less like cactus, and then they end up getting more of like a bark to them as they get taller. So now we're over on the Mojave Desert side and we're at Jumbo Rocks. And the cool thing about this side of the park is there's the Joshua trees and these massive rocks that are so much fun to climb. So we're gonna go play on these rocks. Probably not best to do in sandals.
Yeah.
It's not as easy coming down, huh? And this cool little cactus is called a beaver tail cactus. It doesn't have all the spikes like all the prickly pear ones do. One of the great things about Vanlife is we always have our kitchen with us. Wiley's making up some lunch.
And she always has her husband with her.
I do all the cooking. He does like some things that need to be heated up. That's the extent of his cooking and breakfast, let's be honest. But we are still in the park, so we just pulled over. We're gonna have some lunch, and then we're gonna continue exploring after lunch. This is how you get really clean dishes in Vanlife.
We call it the pre-rinse cycle.
Maisha really takes this job seriously too. Still heading up to Ryan's Peak. I believe that's the top right there. But we will see. Mile and a half up, mile and a half down. Not too bad. This is the top of Ryan's Peak. And it does give you a 360 view of Joshua Tree. Pretty sweet. So it took 40 minutes to get to the top of Ryan Peak, and it does give you an awesome 360 view. I'm assuming it'll be faster on the way down because we're going downhill, not uphill. And if you have about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do this hike, I would recommend it. It shows you the lay of land of Joshua Tree. It is definitely a very popular hike. It's very busy, but when you're in national parks, you kind of don't really have a choice. There's a lot of people around, unless you're doing, over probably 6 to 8 miles, then you weed out the crowd. And worth checking out. So that right there is actually Ryan's Peak, so that's where I hiked up to. The sun is setting in Joshua Tree.
Thanks for coming along for the ride with us.
See you guys next time. See if she brings it back.
Yep.
Look at you go, you retriever. Maisha.
Maisha.
And that's the end of the retrieving.